Today is February the 17th, 2022. It is a couple minutes before 4 o'clock. Thank you for watching. Today is the qualifying deadline for the May primary. So we are going to go into this meeting and check it out. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
I guess you could have a seat over there if you like.
If you want to film this meeting, you'll have to get your place fixed and be in a fixed location so that.
Okay.
It's 4 o'clock. I'll call the meeting of the Hamblen County Election Commission to order at this time. Any visitors wishing to address the meeting can do so at this time. You have a 3-minute time limit.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to address the commission. Appreciate you allowing public comments here. As you know, and I assume you are going to talk about it later in your meeting, there were campaign cards or literature at the entrance to the courthouse. I was told that the election commission said that was okay. And so I inquired and I received this email that Mayor Britton had provided. It didn't say exactly what was allowed and what was not allowed. It had a number of caveats. For example, if you were getting federal funds, which of course affects law enforcement and certain other entities within the government. But the biggest thing, and the reason that Gwen Holden and I came back the next day on Wednesday with small homemade signs or cards was to show the absurdity of what was being allowed. If one person can sit there and put cards in the courthouse, inside, on the table, then everybody should be allowed to. And so we came to show, okay, we're here to put them all around. And we were stopped, and I was glad we were stopped. And it was a judge. And from what I understand, she has talked to Mayor Britton. He is, I understand, bringing you a proposal. But the key thing is, the law doesn't intend an absurdity. And to allow that kind of campaigning to open up this courthouse to that type of campaign activity is absurd. And again, I think you need to look at the caveats in the email, the Federal Hatch Act applying to entities that get federal funds.
Was this email sent to every commissioner here or just to who?
I received it from Mr. Gardner. I don't know if you received it or not. I didn't look to see who all he had sent it to.
I haven't received anything, but it is my understanding that the Election Commission does not control the courthouse.
I think you're absolutely right.
But
The sheriff controls the courthouse in terms at least of intrusions, trespassing, keeping it in good order. Whether he has authority on campaign.
I agree with what she's saying, the absurdity, but if the election commission involved, it would be the state election commission that would make the ruling on that, and nobody else. Now, am I wrong about that? I mean, we can do it, but again, we've got to abide by what the state says.
The attorneys in the State Election Commission office said we have no authority to, we have no authority over campaign literature unless it's during early voting and on election day.
Okay, then the question was, why was the officer telling me that the election commission had said that was okay?
I hadn't told anybody it was okay.
Well, he specifically told me that. That's why I came down to see you, because he was telling me this is where the authority came from, or the okay to do that.
Did you contact Mayor Britton?
No, I contacted the person that I've been told had allowed it. Then Jeff sent an email to, or I don't know if you sent an email or if you just talked to Mayor Britton, but.
I had discussed, I asked him about it, and they had sent me the email they had got from CTAS. And
Okay.
so, because I told you I would email you, so I just forwarded you that email.
Right. And then I turned around and sent an email back to Jeff, Mayor Britton, Esco Jarnigan, Howard Shipley, and there was one other, Chris Capps. And I said, tell me now, is the courthouse, the inside of the courthouse, open to anybody to put up campaign literature?
Now, you're telling me we've got no regulations over that whatsoever?
Only during early voting and election day.
And I'm not saying you all, but
Needless-
somebody needs.
The county commission could probably come up with a policy, but that's on, that's them.
But again, you've got to look at those caveats in that email, and I'll forward the email to the rest.
Well, I've got it, I'll print it.
Yeah.
Ernie, to answer you about the mayor, I got a message and Linda called me and I talked to her and I talked to Jeff and I said, you mind if we talk about this on our agenda today? And do you mind if I give the mayor, well, because the agenda was already published, but
I wasn't notified of what you're talking about.
okay. And then I said to Jeff, do you mind if
I wasn't notified, were you, Gail?
No, this is
Well, I would think that's the person that should know.
I should have been
No,
notified.
Yeah.
that's not you.
But I go back to that point.
Let me just add, so I did leave a message for Mayor Britton, just saying that I've heard from a citizen, and I spoke to Jeff, and I'm gonna ask that we talk about it at our commission meeting.
Election Commission or?
Yeah.
Is it, yeah. I really thought he would be here today because the judge talked to him and said he was going to give a
Well,
proposal.
what you're saying, I'm not aware of.
Okay,
Uh,
and you should be, yeah.
I
And that's why I'm here, to make sure you
Well,
are.
and I appreciate, it's better to address something up front than it is afterwards. I didn't even know that they were putting campaign material in the courthouse.
Well, I came by Monday and I saw it. I didn't say anything on Monday because I was busy. And then when I came back Tuesday and saw it again, I'm done with it.
Was this in an individual office or was it out in the open?
As you come in the foyer and you've got that, machine, the magnetic machine you walk through, there's a little table beside it with a little bowl. And the cards were right there on that table.
Okay.
So that's where we came back and put our cards. And thank heaven they got confiscated, as did everything. And then we took an entire tour of the courthouse. We didn't go in individual offices, but we didn't find anything anywhere else, and that's good. And I thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Just really briefly, and I agree that it's inappropriate. I just wanted to say I've been here over the last couple of weeks helping our candidates get on the ballot. Been in here, and I wanted to thank Jeff. Unfortunately, Glinda and Sydney have left. They were all great, very professional, friendly, and helpful. And so thanks to them for all the help in getting our candidates on the ballot.
Next item is to approve.
I want to speak.
Oh, you want to speak?
Yeah.
3 minutes. Identify yourself and speak.
I agree with Linda, and I see that opening up a big problem because I see candidates having people go in and remove any cards or anything that may be from another candidate. So I see that definitely opening up a big window for issues. And if it hasn't been allowed in the past, I don't see why we're going to allow it to start now. It's worked before. There's no reason to have to be in a government building being hit with signage or political things. That brings me to my second point, the signage that is out on the streets. I see signs that are on public property. I see signs that are on private property, on state right-of-way, on county right-of-way, city right-of-way. Last year I found an issue with a sizage of a sign, and it was brought to this board's attention and nothing was ever done about that.
Oh, right there. We don't control any of what you're discussing. We do not control what you're discussing.
So who would control the
The
signage?
county commission or the planning commission specifically.
Okay, thank you.
Or the city codes enforcement.
Yeah.
Or the state, Tennessee,
Or the state of
right away.
Tennessee
Yeah,
on the
Tennessee.
right of way.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, but you all don't issue anything to them stating, hey, no?
we only do out here on the courthouse lawn. If you're running for office and you want to put a sign on the courthouse lawn, you have to go to planning, get a sticker, and it can't be no more than 8 square feet, and it can be out on the lawn for no more than 30 days.
Okay, so you mentioned the stickers. So last year I found a couple of signs that had no stickers out here on this lawn. Some that did, some that did not. So how come those were not taken down by, you said that you all were responsible for that, by this committee? How come nobody was checking to see if those signs were legal or not?
We're only responsible for a 100-foot in. Planning Commission's responsible for the stickers and checking the stickers to see if everybody has qualified.
Okay,
We don't touch it.
thank you.
Anything else?
That's it, thank you.
This isn't on the agenda, are we gonna discuss it, or it's just a middle
No,
point?
we're just allowing public comment right now. These are public comments. This is not in the meeting. I mean, it's in the meeting, but it's the visitors addressing the commission.
I understand that, but you know, it should be addressed at some point.
What needs to be addressed?
Just what said, you know, you can't, you know,
It's not,
somebody's gotta be responsible. And evidently, we're not. Mayor Britton or whoever, this needs to be corrected. And I never thought I'd agree with Linda, but I do.
I never thought you would either. This is great.
Ernie, I had talked to Jeff, and I know the agenda had already been published. I said, what I would like to do is bring it up under other business on our agenda.
thank you, Steve. That's what we'll do on other business. We'll bring that in. You have a copy of the minutes of the last meeting, which was in January. You've had a chance to look at those those minutes. Is there any discussion on the minutes that were presented for the January 22nd, January 2022 regular meeting?
I vote the minutes be approved as presented.
We have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented by Gail Bruce. So do I have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Ernie Horner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Minutes are hereby approved as presented. The next item is to review candidate names. Jeff, go ahead.
You have a list in your packet of all qualified candidates. Just need to look and see if any name sticks out that you might find offensive, I guess.
Have a motion to approve the candidates as presented.
So moved.
Got a motion by Steve to accept candidates' names as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ernie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Next item is to set the early voting hours for the May 3rd election.
While we're talking about it, can I ask a question? Where do we stand on the building? That for here.
We're going to discuss that in just a minute.
Okay.
Early voting hours. Jeff, you had the what we did last time. It was 8 to 4:30.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 o'clock till noon.
You want to say those slow so I can write it down?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Thursdays, 8 o'clock a.m. to 6 o'clock p.m. And Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 o'clock noon.
And when does that be? What's the date?
April.
Trick question, I know.
Early voting starts April the 13th and runs through April 28th.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion?
That will be here. on
Yes.
this side.
Sorry, see, I didn't see that on there.
All in favor of setting the early voting hours, as Jeff has mentioned, I have a motion to accept it as presented, 8 to 4:30, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Thursday, 8 to 6, and Saturday, 8 to 12.
So moved.
Got a motion, Steve, and have a second?
Second.
Second, Miguel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Next item is to set the election day hours. The last time, and what we've done for the last several years is we've had the polls open at 8 o'clock and closed at 8 o'clock. Is there any discussion? No discussion. We need to vote on setting early the election day hours is 8 to 8. Have a motion? Got a motion by Arnie, got a second?
Second.
Second, Miguel Bruce, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We unanimously agreed to accept the election day hours 8 to 8. Next item is appoint workers. Jeff, go ahead with that.
Well, you've got the workers list in your hand, and we typically vote to approve them, and then any changes that might arise, we will take as they come in.
In the future, can we get them before the day we're voting?
Yeah, can we go?
Yes. And, Len Newman will be replaced in the 8th as machine operator due to her death, that I just found out this afternoon.
I saw that today.
So we approve the list as a body, and then say any changes just need to be reported by either party representative and.
Yeah, let's back up a minute. The first one's early voting workers.
Okay.
That is Sheila and Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one we need, sorry, to cover first.
Let's do this as a group unless you have an objection to it. Let's do the early voting workers, the election day workers, the absentee county board, and machine technicians all, if that's agreeable to everyone. Is that okay? Or you want to vote on it separately?
No need to.
All at once.
Okay.
Well, machine technicians, who are they?
Justin Hinton and Landry Brothers.
Let me get that time again there, Jay.
Justin Hinton, Hinton. And who you got for absentee county board?
Wayne, who I've not contacted, he just always does it, but I will. And, Krista Cowan.
And we got Ralph Wilkerson and Robert McClendon.
Okay, and machine technicians. You said,
Justin Hinton and Landry Brothers.
okay, we've got the election day workers list there.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any discussion on these items of the workers, the early voting workers, election day workers, absentee county board, and machine technicians? Any discussion?
No.
If not, we'll accept a motion to approve the workers as appointed, as we've mentioned, and do it as a package.
I move that we appoint the workers that have been submitted here today with the exception of, with the exception of Len Newman, who unfortunately has passed away, and that we be allowed to make substitutions as needed by each party presenting their own personal workers.
Thank you, Gil. Do you have a second?
Second.
Got a second by Ernie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We have approved the workers for early voting, election day workers, absentee county board, and machine technicians with the caveat that we can replace as needed. Next item is courthouse voting precinct. You approved that.
Not sure anything yet, working on it.
Working.
I went and looked at West Elementary. The handicap situation, there's no really good handicap entrance at West Elementary School. So the only place that we've looked at that leaves us is either MUS or the
I thought
library.
the issue you were gonna discuss with First Baptist. Get that.
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean,
Well, with that
we need to-
meeting last time, thought it was a good idea.
well, we had talked about doing the library, and the library is a more feasible place since it's a public building. And I think you'll have less confusion. Do you want to table it and go on to March? I haven't talked to them at First Baptist. I don't. Why would we have to go to First Baptist? I mean, why would?
Because everybody here said they didn't like this one or that one.
Well, it was an option, is what it was.
Yeah, I thought we left here last week and everybody thought First Baptist would be a good idea, and it may not.
I did not check with First Baptist. And as I said, if you feel like we need to, we can table it, and Jeff or I want to check with First Baptist, but I think the library personally is a better choice.
And Steve's been approached by.
Yeah, so if I can add to that, Mr. Chairman, I just today had a discussion with Dr. Alexander, and she is the chair of the library board. And she just said she would certainly support using the community room as an ongoing precinct voting site.
And there's real good sufficient space in that room.
Will it be in the back?
Yes.
And there's plenty of parking back there.
Something else you said, if I can add that since the back parking and the driveways were used by the health department for COVID testing or vaccine and all that, she said, I think people are now used to driving back there too. So that was an interesting comment.
And you all like it better than MUS?
I do only because, as we said, MUS will probably sell the building and then we'll make another change. I know that's a problem with it.
Well, I'm sure if they get the right ladder.
Sure.
Any further discussion? Are we voting on the library? no further discussion, we'll just go ahead and vote on the library as being the alternative for the courthouse precinct.
Okay, I mean, we need something formal from the library. Do we not? I mean, their board will have to vote on it as well.
I think, Jeff, you've spoken to,
I spoke to Kathy.
Structure, the librarian, right?
I just spoke to Kathy, and
Oh.
we spoke to them, and
Okay.
both of them said yes,
Right.
but I think they have, if you do, we'll go to the, library board meeting this month.
So can we make our decision here that we support that, pending, of course, approval from the county, the city, the board, whoever has to
That's
agree
fine, it
from the
doesn't
other
matter
side.
who's leading the pack, both of
Yeah.
them have to agree.
So you're gonna check with the library? Is there any other discussion on seeking out the library and see if that's a viable alternative for the courthouse voting precinct?
Or can we be direct and, if you think it's appropriate now, make a motion that we agree that the library is our choice pending approval
Pending
by the
approval.
management
Right.
who would
Why
have
don't you
to
make
approve
that
it.
in form of a motion?
Right. I move that we support, that we choose the library as the courthouse precinct location. And of course, pending approval by the library board and the county and the city.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the library as a courthouse voting precinct voting center pending approval by the library board. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So we will use that, and if that is not a viable option after Jeff contacts them, well, then we'll check with somewhere else. Next item is lockbox and bags. We can do that. We can jump over that right now and go to other business. And we'll now open up to any other business that you have that you want to present at this time. Let me mention first of all that you have a copy of the expense report in your packet there. If you have any questions about that, let us know about that. You should have.
We
had
have to
a-
vote on
with
the
that.
ballot box and bags.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may, and to pick up the discussion we had during the public comment, I'm gonna ask this body if we feel we should formally ask the mayor or the county commission to create a policy about campaign literature within the courthouse, or let's just start with that.
Well, this, and I agree totally, this to me they don't think of the county commission or the county mayor, they think of the election commission, let these people do that.
Right.
And that's far from the reality of it. And to be very honest, I think it makes us look bad.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't have that. Our main duty is to make sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that we have a fair election every time, which I think we do. But, and this is no fault of anybody's within this room, but we've got to be the one to take the step forward, in my opinion, like Steve said, and resolve this with whoever, and where it doesn't happen again.
So my question is, whose duty is going to take care of that, to get that taken care of? I mean, is Bill Britton told you that he'll take care of it, or Did somebody I haven't been in communication with anybody because I wasn't aware that this was going on. So,
The last I heard, Bill was thinking about maybe putting a bulletin board in the vestibule over there and letting them just tack a card on there, but.
Well, I don't think that's a good idea.
I
mean-
think that's a violation, is it not of,
I don't know if it's a violation, but it don't look good.
The distance that you're supposed to stay.
It will
away
be
from folks.
during early voting. Everything would have to be cleared out during early voting.
But if
And it's
there's-
kind of like, Linda, you remember the newspaper, when everybody puts little tag in the corner? And we've told the Tribune, it cannot be put in
Right.
the box because that violates the political campaigning rule, the 100-foot boundary during early voting election day.
I think it would be much better if there was a sign put up that said, no campaigning or literature left in this building, or whatever, how you want to word it, which would be better, but that would be, to me, better to say, no campaigning literature than to put up a board where they put their cards and things on
So it seems to me we can either ask the mayor,
I
as
think
county executive,
I think
to
that's
create a
what-
policy, or we can suggest, does he want to collaborate with some of the expertise here on creating a policy and submit that to county commission for approval?
well, since we don't control it,
Mm-hmm.
we'd just be asking them to
Right.
do that. And
But we
make
could do that
clear.
formally out of this meeting today.
Yeah, we've got to ask, but we can ask in a very,
We can just ask, period. We can't demand, we can't do anything else about it, we can ask.
We can probably approve a
hopefully
resolution
they
that
can
just
see
says
the
we ask
light
him
of that.
to create a clear policy.
So, Jeff, can you ask him if we can get a resolution on that and find out about it?
Why don't you send an email to him and all the members here concerning that? We'll see for an answer, and if the answer's not, obviously, as EC said, we can't do anything about it. But if it's an answer that still allows them, then I think we'll get with him privately or whatever it may be.
Or y'all could vote on doing a resolution. We could write up the resolution and send it, but either way, yeah, that's fine.
Well, my question also is this a problem in other courthouses? Of course, in other places, in other counties, you have a situation where the election commission has its own building. It's not even in the courthouse. And that, there is a reason for that.
Speaking of that, wonder if we could add on to some instruction for an election commission.
Well,
I want to settle this. I just want to tell you all, I've talked to Wilson County, and so I have some things to report on that as far as separate building and election commissions, but,
okay, so let's go back to this. So are you going to communicate with Bill Britton, the mayor, and see if he can resolve this issue and get back with us next month? And then if we,
Well, if he emails them, and, we may have it resolved in 2 days. If he says, hey, no.
well, what my point is, I'm wanting to know how far we need to get involved in something we don't control.
Well, right's right and wrong's wrong.
Well,
And,
I know that too.
I guess my answer to that is we need to get as involved as necessary because it's not the right thing to do.
Well, we may have to do some legal research with the state and see what.
I mean, surely we can work this out. Am I the only one that sees this as a bad situation?
no, I agree with you.
I agree with
I
you.
agree
We're all
with you.
in agreement. It's just that, we don't control it.
I
But
understand that. I
that's
understand that.
that's where.
But it
It
has
hasn't
come
been
to us,
resolved.
so we're saying, what do we
Well,
do
see,
right
that's
now?
it. I didn't know it was even tied
Right.
to us. I didn't even know what was going on.
I know.
I don't know.
That's where we have a lack of communication.
So we're gonna see what we can get done, right? So,
Well, I think it would be good if we went ahead and made the voted on a resolution today and just say, we understand it's out of our
okay, you wanna put
control.
that in the motion?
I do.
Okay. Gail Bruce has put in motion that we do a resolution from the Election Commission requesting that all political literature be removed from the courthouse. Is that what you want to say?
That's exactly what it was.
Have we got a second?
Second.
We got 2 seconds, okay.
Right.
So, all in favor of doing a resolution to request them to take all political literature out of the courthouse, say aye.
Aye.
So we unanimously agreed to do that. Jeff, you'll take care of that. Well, you can present that to Bill Britton. If there's any problem, then let us know what we need to do to follow up on it, okay? Now, go ahead with your.
Thank you. Just as an update, last month, I said, I would like to go ahead and Jeff gave me some leads on who to talk to about what are county commissions doing that we might say that's something we could do here or modify for our use as far as promoting voter registration, increasing voter participation. Jeff gave me the lead, and I spoke to Tammy Smith in Wilson County, and that's the only contact I've made, but I told her I'd like to steal a lot of things that she does. So I'm still doing it. Excuse me?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understood we've been doing that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as let me end that first. What I'd like to do is get on the agenda for our next meeting with a short presentation, even if we can use the screen, and I'll show you some things that she has done. But she's got a wonderful website. She's got a voter manual. She's got a citizen manual, and a lot of interesting things. And it seems to be effective, but I would ask your input as, is that interesting, and does any of that fit for us here? So that's all I've got to report, but if it makes
How
sense.
many people she staffs daily in her office there?
No, I don't, but it's not huge. She does have a nice new building, yes.
So she has a separate building.
She has a separate building.
And they have their own IT and.
No, I asked her that. No, she doesn't have a full-time or county employee IT. She contracts that out. She has a lot of knowledge, so she does a lot of the website herself. She's a certified administrator. So.
Okay, so you want to have.
I just
some
on the
time
agenda for
next month.
6-8 months next month, and I'll be prepared to put something on the screen to show you what she's doing.
Okay, I don't see any problem with that, so we don't need to vote on that.
No.
So, is there any other business, any other, old business, any other new business? If there's no further business, I'll take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Got a motion to adjourn, second?
Second.
Got a motion and second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. The next meeting will be March the 17th at this same time, 4 o'clock. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
I say